welcome. If you're new here, I have a rising fourth grader and a rising sixth grader. I also have a pretty active Instagram account. If you guys are interested in actually seeing daily walkthroughs and lessons and stuff, I share pretty regularly on Instagram. Same username and everything, into the rabbit hole with me. But today I'm going to be taking you through my sixth graders ELA for this upcoming 25-26 school year. So a lot of it is new to us and a lot of it isn't at the same time. So I'm excited to share with you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, here it goes. Sixth grade, nothing new with the phonetic zoo. If you guys saw my fourth grade video, you'll know that we are doing this family style. And actually, let me just reach over here and get this workbook, because this is something that I didn't share over on Instagram. But you may be asking yourself, how are you doing this family style? You're bound to at one point, you can't possibly be on the same lesson, because a sixth grader and a fourth grader, you're going to have different levels of learning at one point, right? My fourth grader may get stuck on this list, which has happened a couple times, and my sixth grader is on this list and is flying through it, which is currently what's happening. So I really don't want to move along in the lessons unless we can move through it together. You know, it just makes it easier on my end. It's easier to keep track of, and there's a sense of camaraderie between the two as they're learning how to spell it together. I feel, especially with my rising sixth grader, he is eventually going to just start doing more and more things independently, and the things that we do together is just not going to be as common anymore. And so if we can do something like this together, yay, I'm all for it. So how does this work if I'm doing this family style? Okay, so we may do this list, and let's say that he gets several wrong, that we don't feel comfortable moving on in the lesson until he's had another week or whatever to catch back up, right? Or just to for it to resonate, right? So what is he doing in the meantime? If he finished this list and he's good to go, I'm not moving him over to lesson 4. So what am I doing then? So instead, what I'm doing is I pulled this. I really am strong on having a rule-based curriculum that has the rule, and this is really cool because it has like a little jingle for you to learn as you're learning the rule, and spelling lists to go along with it. That's what I want. And so I was very particular on which workbook I would get for him to do, and I ended up going with this one, 180 days. I can do a flip through of this some other time, but basically it's following the same thing, which you have some sort of rule base in the very beginning. Let's look over here. You have some sort of rule base. I mean, something. You have spelling words all attached to the AR, ER, and OR endings, and then you have a list of words. Good for me. That will work. And so that's what he does. So what does he do while we're waiting for little brother to master his spelling list and to master the spelling rule? That's what he'll do. He'll just switch gears and he'll do this in the meantime until we're ready to all move together into the next lesson, and then we do it together again. So that's how I'm approaching spelling. Okay, so that's spelling. Now let's transition over to grammar. So there's a lot of things going on with grammar, and if you watched again the fourth grade video, you'll see it's not all done simultaneously. He's not doing all of this every day. We kind of rotated in and out. So this is something that we're doing family style with his younger brother, with his younger brother too. And we kind of start the week off by introducing a new concept, and we try to approach it in our writing throughout the week. And so sometimes we may stay on this for a couple weeks. So we may be on this for like a month even. You know, there was one in here, compound sentences. I think we stayed on it for like a month because you can see we've already kind of started it over here. So we may stay on it for a month, and we just incorporate the concept taught in here into all our content areas like history, science, in our novels and things of that sort. So we just do it together, and it's just something extra for us to do. These are daily language workouts, and these are just sentence corrections. And again, none of this is new if you watch the fourth grade video. But what I do is I put chart paper up on the board. I have a sixth grade one and I have the fourth grade one. And I have all of them for the week up. So what they have is they have 5 sentences, and they all are hitting a core grammar concept. So this one is on all these over here. Hold on, let me switch it to something. All right, let's go into here. So using the right words, subject-verb agreement, parallelism, plurals, pronouns, adjectives, and comma usage. in between independent clauses, right? So it has all this kind of stuff. And then on this side, you as a teacher have the corrected version, so you know where the mistakes are. So basically on the chart paper, I just write down all these sentences. I put it up there for him and his brother. His brother has the 4th grade one. And that's it. And we knock it out for the week. He just does one little sentence a week. It takes him maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. That's it. And that's how I knock that out. And they actually really enjoy it. It is a little bit of a game or competition between the two, seeing if they can find all the errors. So that works for us. This, we also do family style. I shared about it also in the 4th grade video. And this is just word parts. Originally, this was only going to be for his 4th grade brother. But I was like, might as well do a family style, because who doesn't need a refresher? So this is going over a lot of different suffixes and prefixes. So you have, for instance, able in here, and it will tell you, it'll give you a word list. It gives you the definitions. It has activities in here for you to do, some crossword puzzles, fill in the blank type sentences, that kind of thing. For this, my kids never ever see the workbook. Never. They never see it. I always pull my Jack and Link stuff out, and I will write it up on the board, like over here, and I will just say the suffix of the week or whatever that we're learning about, or the prefix of the week is going to be un. And then I have the definition for it up on the chalkboard. And then throughout the week, I have Jack and Link activities set up on their table to go over that. So they never ever see this. And we just do that family style. Okay, so the last portion for grammar is BJU English. He doesn't have, I know you're seeing all this, and you're like, well, yeah, he does have grammar, right? But he doesn't have like a structured grammar that's going to cover all the concepts that he should know for 6th grade. He doesn't. None of these are like that. And some of them are below grade level, like this one, but I'm just still making him do it anyway, you know? This is where this comes in. It's giving me my structured grammar for what he needs to have, you know? So it's going into, we already started this a couple weeks ago. Simple, compound, complex sentences. This is part of the writing, which we'll get to. Capitalizing common and proper nouns, like all the things that a 6th grader needs to know. Indefinite pronouns. What else? Irregular verbs, modifying adjectives and adverbs, prepositional phrases, modifying nouns, pronouns, all that kind of stuff. So this is gonna cover that down for him. Okay, I think this is a really good time to switch over then into the writing portion. All right, so for the writing portion, I'm using 3 things. But again, they're gonna cover different components. So just like language arts has your spelling, you have your literature, you have vocabulary, you have, what did I say? Spelling, literature, grammar, writing. Was that all the things? I always feel like I'm missing one. Writing, I also feel like really has to be broken up into multiple compartments too. You have your structured writing, which this is going to cover down on. Your structured writing in terms of how to write a persuasive essay, how to write a compare and contrast essay, how to write an informational essay, like that kind of stuff. This is going to help, and it's going to cover down on that. So yeah, so that's what this is. Okay, so let's go on to the next then. So then we also have the well-trained mind. So what is this doing? This is teaching him how to outline. It's teaching him how to recognize and write topic sentences, how to organize his thoughts and stuff, which I think is such an important skill. There are several really, really good videos by the person who wrote this, that I think it's Susan Bauer, the same person that does Story of the World and stuff. There's some really good videos, and she breaks it down really, really well. And so I definitely recommend finding those and like watching them if you're interested in it. This is dry. There's no bells and whistles or anything attached to it. We're about a third of our way through this. There is nothing interesting about it. It is just, but it's going to get the job done. And it's teaching him how to pull important information out and how to outline, how to create a topic sentence. And eventually it's going to lead to other stuff. But we're only a third of the way through. And I appreciate the repetition in this whole first 1/3 of the curriculum, which is just outlining. And sometimes you look at a summary and you're creating an outline. Sometimes you're looking at an outline and creating a summary from it. And so I do appreciate the repetition in this. So he has plenty of practice, and now he's like a little old pro in taking a summary and outlining it, and also taking an outline and turning that into a summary. So that last one is a little bit trickier for him, but he's just going right along and stuff. So that is what this is doing. And so this is an everyday a week type of curriculum. This is not what I would call like a stop and go. Like you can kind of shelve it for like a month or two and come back to it. It's one you have to commit to that you're going to be doing 4 days a week on. And there is no kind of like stopping and going, because it would ruin the flow of this, you know? So this is something that we have to do every day. The writing in here is not something that you do even every week. It really depends on where you're at, because it rotates out between your grammar portions and your writing portions. So you have grammar, writing, and so depending on how long that grammar portion is, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, it could only be 1 week. It really depends. So you're not really doing writing every single day. And in this one, you are, and it only takes us about 15 minutes a day. So you're still not, it's not like a big heavy thing. Okay, the next thing is this all right, and I don't really see too many people talking about it, and I think it's fantastic. This is along the lines of this in here, sentence level writing in here. And this takes you from lower elementary all the way to high school. And so I'm using this with my 4th grader, but he's on a different path from his older brother. You know, he's more on the upper elementary, junior high path. Well, he was in the upper elementary last year. And so this year he's more on the junior high school path in here. And with this, we really just take it slowly. Take it slowly. We have one concept in here, maybe that we'll be learning about, you know. Here you go, independent and dependent clauses, and we just practice it in our content areas like history, our novel studies, and things of that sort. And that's how I approach it. So I know you see, oh, you know, 5 different writing things. I don't know how many writing things I have, right? But you may see that it's because they're all attacking different things, you know? And this one will take you through high school. So we just go slowly through it. Same with this one, we just go slowly through it. This is kind of just like a resource book in here that they reference in here that you can check. So this will last through high school. And then you have your skills book, and then it's kind of just taking you through all these different comma splices and other sentence problems, sentence combining, what else? Pronouns and antecedents. I always forget how to pronounce that word. And then just takes you slowly through it. So then we work on this, and we also just work slowly through it. We may not even pick this up like all week, or maybe even in 2 weeks, you know, but probably like at least once a month we're picking from this, and I'm taking a concept from in here and applying it throughout all our content areas. But what is the regular writing is this every single day, and then this when we do it. And then we also have some writing integrated as well into our literature. So for literature, we're using Great Minds, and we're doing level 6. And there's certain books that we read. I think the Buddy one, not Buddy, I forgot what that one's called. That's the first one that we're going to be reading. And so this is our literature / writing as well, you know. And so we do a lot of writing and literature with our stuff. And I don't have the teacher's guide in front of me to show you, but we have the teacher's guide. This is just a student workbook and stuff. And you can see that there's a lot of writing also integrated into this curriculum. And that is our novel. Now, one other thing that you don't see is you don't see Redefining Homeschool, which is a homeschool educator on Instagram, and she also has some courses and stuff that we signed up for this upcoming year. So he's going to be doing that, Redefining Homeschool. She has an Instagram account. Go check it out. I believe it's all closed though for the year, but it's video lessons, like FaceTime lessons. What do you call that? Zoom lessons, like type thing where you're with other kids, you're reading books, you're approaching all different types of figurative language and literature analysis in there as well. So he is doing that. They both do typing. I think I forgot to mention that in my 4th grade one. So they're both also doing typing. And I think that's it. I think that's it for 6th grade, but there's always something. If we hit a hiccup or something while we're doing any of our work, I may pull in other resources to help cover down on it, usually from teachers pay teachers and stuff. But there you go. That's 6th grade rundown. Let me know if you have any questions. But if you haven't checked out the 4th grade video, go check out the 4th grade video, okay? And don't forget to subscribe, guys. Subscribe. All this week, I'm going to be sharing all our curriculum. We have math, we have science, we have history and stuff, and I'm going to be doing YouTube video for each one. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure you go and subscribe.